You're tuned into Influencer Insider, where real talk meets big dreams and we turn goals into game plans. I'm your host, Gabi, and we're getting into all things taxes and business strategy and more. So grab your latte, your notebook, or your laptop, and let's talk wealth. Today, we're joined by Dr. Bria Harris, CEO of Impress Tax Services, financial educator, tax strategist, mother, and one of the nation's leading voices in financial literacy and wealth building. Before we talk taxes and seven-figure success, let's get to know the woman behind the brand. So, what's one luxury you will never feel guilty about buying? It must be a lot.
Good question. What am I never guilty about buying lecture wise? Nothing.
I know that's right. Okay, nothing.
I live with no regrets.
And I love that. And
I feel like once you put that limitation on you, you kind of put yourself in a certain mindset, because I feel like everything happened for a reason in life, right? No matter what decision, what choice, whether it's positive or negative, whether we bought something we weren't supposed to buy before, whether we supposed to, we live and we learn. But I live with no regrets, so I will say nothing.
I love that. Okay, take that advice. We regret nothing. Buy everything.
Buy everything with my, being mindful though, but no regrets. No regrets.
Okay, luxury lifestyle is key. I love it. With that being said, everyone sees a successful CEO, but who was Bria Harris before all the success?
Oh gosh. Bria Harris was, let's see, a girl with big dreams. I think anybody who knows me from when I was younger would tell you that Bria always lived a certain, I always wanted, how we went into the stores and we bought like the fake chains and the fake jewelry and I always talked about life of luxury and certain vehicles and bags and just a certain lifestyle, but I always reenacted it. So I think what I tell people all the time is when it comes to a certain lifestyle, you have to manifest that before it actually is in place. I think a lot of people don't understand either. Your mouth is your biggest weapon.
Come on.
So whatever you actually put out and what you speak into existence, it actually comes to life, right? So for me, before I became who I am, I used to work at McDonald's. Just to let you guys know, I sure did. My first job was when I was 13, 14. I think I was making $5.25 an hour. I don't think nobody remember when we was making $5.25 an hour when we was, working a little summer jobs, you guys. So my first little paycheck was like $100. I thought I was balling back in the day. Yes, you know what I'm saying? I had to go get me a little outfit. That's when Baby Boo and, Baby Fat and, Rockaware and all of that was, in my era, was it. So, but Bria was just a girl who made mistakes just like everybody else, hung with the wrong crowds, learned, made some mistakes, and just really developed over time. So who was Bria Harris before I am today? Was just a girl trying to figure it all out.
I love it. All right. I think a lot of us can resonate with that.
Trying to figure it out.
I love it. You went from homelessness, though, to running a 7-figure company. What kept you moving forward?
Me. I didn't want to disappoint my kids. So a lot of people don't understand, like, when I was going through my homeless phase, it was actually when I got kicked out my kids' father's house. And I wouldn't say kicked out like that. Sometimes as, women, we like to date older men. And I tell a lot of people when they be like, I want these old men. Yeah, sometimes it's good to an extent. When they taking care of you, then they got the full, shebang over everything over your life. And I just was like, this can't be the end for me. So it may be a setback. Because I always look at setbacks, right, as what was God trying to show me, right? Because with everything that goes on, it's a lesson within that, right? And I just was like, I know wherever my dream is at, it has to be here. But going through my homeless phase actually made me better. And the reason why is because it made me say, hey, I never want to be in this position again, right? Where I slept in the back of the vehicle, was in the family homeless shelters for people with kids, just living that and just going through that experience really was just like, okay, it helped me grow and appreciate so much. Because sometimes, we'll be judgmental when we walk past the homeless people and things like that, and we don't think that could be us at any time, right? Because no matter, even though I'm on certain levels now, it can always be reverted, right? So you got to still be humble with what you have. But me going through that makes me appreciate. And even when I see a homeless person sometimes, right? Even if he is taking my dollar and go spend it on some crack or buy a beer, it doesn't make a difference, because in my mind, you know what I mean? God must have told me that, spoke to me to give it to him anyway. You understand what I'm explaining? Yeah. So going through that just really just open my eyes to say, hey, it's more than that. And my kids, because I wanted my children to see that no matter what you go through in life, your choice still develops your outcome, right? Absolutely. So even though this plan may have not worked, you may have to go with plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G before we actually get to K, or you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case might be. It's just showing them that, hey, no matter what you go through in life, you can still come out on top. So I think that's my biggest motivation, was myself, because it had to start within myself so I can be able to show. And then also my kids. My boys, they look up to me, to be able to sit there and just listen to them when they was giving me a speech last year in my 40 under 40 celebration. It was like, Mom, we went from homeless to living like this. And, so they could see that Mommy put in work. Yeah. So it makes them humble and more appreciative too.
I love that. I love it. So it's just self-motivation, looking at those boys like, hey, you can do this. Anybody can do it. Anybody can do it.
Because I think a lot of us always try to say, oh, well, this is where I came from, or it's my environment. No, your environment does not make you. Right. You make you. Right. We can always do something to better ourselves. You understand what I'm explaining? Absolutely. And I think in me personally, it was like, no, I need to better myself. I need to get up there, and I need to stay to a level. So how can I get there? So that was my biggest motivation as well. Just how can I get there?
I love that. Accountability is key in your success. Yeah. That's what I hear from that.
Yeah, gotta take accountability for your actions.
Exactly. And during that time, was there a moment you were like, oh, you know what? My life's about to change. It's getting there.
No, it wasn't actually, because sometimes we make the same mistakes, right? So I'm not gonna lie. So when you think you got your one foot out the door, you're like, yeah, I'm doing something. Then you're like, hold on, wait a minute. Why am I keep making the same mistake? Because your mindset too. Right. So even though you take accountability, your mindset is also will develop. So my mindset wasn't ready for those next steps. And I feel like the reason why I took off so late in life and not as early is because God also was saying I wasn't ready. You understand what I'm explaining? I had to remove some people, had to remove certain mindsets, had to be open to certain things, and stop repeating mistakes. Because even though I was trying to climb up, I was repeating some of the same mistakes that was preventing me to get to that next level. Gotcha. So I had to sit back and analyze as well. So yeah, I could say, I think a lot of that had to come with, just learning as well. But with life lessons.
Well, you kind of already told me how motherhood shaped your entrepreneurial journey, but besides just wanting to show your boys, you know what, anybody can do it, you can do it too. How else did being a mother shape your journey in entrepreneurship?
Oh, man. It shaped me to be somebody who I never thought I could be. Being a mom is like a job within itself. So people be like, oh, I got 9 to 5, but having 9 to 5 or being an entrepreneur and take care of kids, that all can be so overwhelming, right? But for me, it shaped me to be who I needed to be because I made decisions, right? So even with me moving to Florida and leaving my boys behind with their dad for about 1.5 years, 2 years, so I can reshape and figure out what I needed to do to get myself, that was a big decision. Yeah. But that had to come from the motherhood of me and say, hey, you know what? Yeah, mommy don't want to work this job no more. I'm tired of making this type of money. Yeah. Mommy really want to take off, but I didn't want to bring them to a homeless shelter. So when I decided that I wanted to start over and move to Florida, I made the hardest decision that anybody could sit here and say that it's not, is to leave them with their dad. Why I went and focused on myself for a minute. And I don't regret that. So you have some people be on the internet talking about, I would never leave my kids. I would never do that. I never do this. You can't say what you would and what you
Right.
went out to do. Ain't like I left them when they went to foster care. I left them with their father.
Right.
The same man who breed me.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Not once but twice, okay? The
Right.
only kid's dad. All righty? So, but that was a tough decision. So that helped shape me as well, because as moms, we have to make decisions
Yeah.
like that. And sometimes, somebody else would be like, oh my gosh, I would have no. That decision is what made me sit right here now, where I don't have to clock in for nobody else.
Right.
So sometimes as moms, we have to make tough decisions, whether it's, saving the money, put them in private school, because maybe the public school system that we in is failing them. Maybe it's making a decision like I did. Maybe it's making a decision to, say, hey, I might want to work less because my kids need me a little bit more. We all have to make decisions. And I think being a mother make you make decisions that sometimes you probably wouldn't have made without thinking about that, because it's forcing you to say, hey, you got to be better.
Yeah.
You got to be better. You got somebody looking up to you.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, that right there also helped shape me to become the woman I am. And it was a tough decision, because for a minute I was like, man, I cried. I still got the videos on my phone where I cried. Like I was never going to see my kids. I'll never talk to them again, right? But it wasn't that. It was just, I ain't never left my kids. I had them. So I'm like, do I really want to make this decision? But I said, I also know that I know what I want in life.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to make a tough decision to get to where you want to be, and that was one of the tough decisions that I had to make.
Yeah, being future focused will cause you to make present decisions that hurt, but in the end, that pain is worth it.
Yeah,
because it's a game.
It's a game now.
Amen. What would today's Bria tell the Bria who was struggling just a few years ago?
Today's Bria who was struggling back then a few years ago would tell her the same thing that she would say now: perseverance.
That's a powerful word.
Perseverance. Ambition. Believe in yourself. Those would be the three things I'll say to remind her.
I love that. And how tough is it to actually believe in yourself?
Oh, man, with all this, you got to remember you got so much things in your face, right? So you have a lot of things in your face where you're just like, oh my gosh, right? Did I want to believe in myself with, everything? Oh, this person. No. Believe in yourself, because it starts with you. Self-love. You can't love somebody else until you love yourself. And a lot of people don't understand that. People don't understand you can't love your kids. You can't love nobody until you learn how to love yourself first.
Yeah.
So once you love yourself, I feel like everything else falls in place.
I love that. Absolutely. Absolutely. So success is not about where you start. It's
No.
actually what you decide to do, what you have, and where you end up.
Exactly.
Honestly. I love
Exactly.
that. So why do you think so many successful women still struggle with money confidence?
Because what happens is when we start making money, I think a lot of us want to impress other people, and they want to live for what someone else thinks. You got me messed up. I stay within my lane and what I know I can do with what the money that I'm making. And I think that is one of the reasons why a lot of females struggle once they get to a certain level of success, because they feel like they got to show their success in other ways. And you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that. It'd be other ways that I teach. Like, I just was at a conference last Sunday that I spoke at, and I was teaching some of the ladies there on the difference between Roth IRAs, simple IRAs, 401k accounts, how to build high yield accounts to get away from savings accounts, building assets, building wealth, real wealth.
Yeah.
Right? Because we can go to Chanel and buy a bag. Hello. I could do that too, right? Got
Right.
a few of them. You know what I'm saying? But where is the wealth being spent? Where is it going? So people always feel like, oh, I got to impress this person. I got to impress social media. Forget social media. Social media don't mean nothing. You understand what I'm explaining? Because before social media, who was impressing? Yourself.
Right.
The person around the corner.
Yeah.
Right? Because we didn't have all of that. We had a telephone.
Right. We grew up on
We had a
AOL dial-up.
telephone. Okay? So it was like, what were you trying to prove to the next person? So I think a lot of women, when they get to a certain level of wealth, they just don't know how to manage it sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's just because it hits so quick, and they like, oh, I got to do all these things. I got to do this and I do that. Or I got to start living beyond my means and living beyond keeping up with the Joneses. I got to have this.
Yeah.
If I ain't got 6 G-Wagons in the Warriors waist in the driveway and this and that, and you look up and they foreclosing on this and foreclosing on that, they file a bankruptcy because they're trying to do too much. When the money comes in, look at what you're making after what you're spending. And that's why I teach a lot of my clients as an accountant, right? So if you know you gross at 1.6 million a year, but out of that 1.6 million you only really taking home 300,000-400,000, then you need to be only living on that 300,000 to 400,000,
right.
not the 1.6 that you gross.
Yeah,
big difference. And I think that's what a lot of people do too as well, is they're sitting there, and a lot of ladies, when we start making money, hey, I want to spend it, and I want to do all this, I want to take care of this person, I need to take care of this person. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Because you can't do that.
Yeah.
And then you got social media giving you flack and be like, oh my gosh, well, if I was making this certain, my people's won't be them. You can't take care of everybody.
Right. You can't.
You can't. It's just not going to work. So I think that's, for me, is what I'm seeing, that's where I think a lot of the downfall will be.
I totally agree. And you just made it very clear. Multiple streams of income are definitely required. It's not an overrated thing. We hear on social media, women, you don't need to do this, that, and the other. You're doing too much. How do you stay grounded in that mindset, though, knowing that multiple streams of income are required? It's not like a luxury anymore.
It's not a luxury. It's required. Like for me, I have multiple streams, but it's all still in the financial world, you know? So I have my software that I sell for taxes. I teach my classes. I help people start their own tax firms, right? Okay. I teach business tax courses, you know? So I do a lot of other things outside of just doing taxes and accounting with my retainer clients, and of course my busier season in the first 6 months of the year, right? And so I do a lot of other things on top of that. I have rental properties, right? So every person who has wealth, they buy into real estate. I'll tell you this now. If you have wealth, you're going to invest into real estate because of equity and future. Trust me, you're going to invest in that. So those are a few things that I have to be able to have those multiple stream of income, because after tax season, then what?
Yeah.
Right?
Just sitting
so,
crazy.
Yes, I could make a lot of money during tax season, which I do. But what's going to happen after that? So that is where how I'm going to live the rest of the year. Yeah. Right? I make enough money to where I can live the rest of the year. But you don't want to sit there and feel comfortable just off that one stream of income, because once you feel comfortable, then you're not setting your bar is high, right? Because once you accomplish one goal, right, it's time to get to the next goal. Yeah. Time to get to the next goal, then the next goal, then the next goal. You're constantly going to want to climb. So multiple stream income has to happen. Now, I wouldn't suggest. I do see some people who be in one type of field and then they go in something totally left. Me personally, no. You know what I mean? But I will say, if you're in the financial, you just learn how to dominate the financial industry. Learn how to make multiple streams of income within that, selling courses and things of that nature, and then go from there. Okay, but definitely need multiple streams of income for sure. And because you can say, right, because like when I'm home on a slow month, I can sell courses and make $30,000-$40,000 a month selling courses. Sell some courses. Do something outside of that. And I think that's what a lot of people don't do. They just want to focus on one thing and then that's it. No, in order for you to hit 6, 7, 8, 9 figures, you have to have multiple stream of income. I don't care what it is. Yeah. I just won't mess with the restaurant field, but other than that, I'm good.
There's a lot of that mindset in the service industry. People who are providing professional services or just, industry services in general that get stuck in that mindset. Hey, I have to serve people. No, there's other ways to do it. Like you said, create a course. You can go, you speak engagements, stuff like that. I watched it the other day. Yes, ma'am. Yes. You spoke the words.
Yes. Do speak engagements, do other things, sell courses, software things. I do all those things. I just made my announcement for classes this morning, literally on the way up here, because I normally start classes in August. So I just made my announcement already on Facebook. It's already getting shared. Instagram is already getting shared. That is my next steps and my goals. Of course, with speaking and doing other things.
Yes. But I think also ties back to women lacking that confidence in money, though. Like, they don't want to branch out and do these things because they have that impostor syndrome. Did you ever
scared money don't make money?
Well, you're right.
What?
Did
you kidding me? No. What? I don't mind investing. People been sitting here and be like, XYZ, man, I'm going to put 30, 40, 50K into something that I know I can see in my potential. As long as I can see my potential, get my money back, I'm good.
I love that.
Because at the end of the day, and sometimes even with business, you might make it a bad investment and don't get it back at all.
Yeah.
Right? Because I done did that too. Right? But most of the time, you have to make that investment to make that start to get to the next level. You cannot be scared to spend money to make money. Ain't gonna work.
That's a true fact.
We talk about we on Wealthy Sisters, right? Wealthy Sisters. If you want to be wealthy, you can't be scared to spend a little money to make some money back.
I agree. Y'all heard that now. Spend it to make it.
Gotta spend it to make it back.
What does financial freedom really look like, though?
Oh man, financial freedom. What does it look like to me? Waking up and my bills on auto pay.
That's real grown. Real grown.
I can get up and do what I want to do. Mm-hmm. I want to book a last minute flight and say I'm gone tomorrow. I could do that. Mm-hmm. Man, financial freedom looks really good.
It looks good on you.
I just say, hey, you know, my son's 16th birthday was last year, and I asked him what he wanted. He messed up because I'm big on discipline still. So he messed up for his car. I didn't give him his car. So if he behaves better, then he'll be maybe getting his car this year, which he has. He's doing really good now. But I'm also a mom that doesn't give you just anything because I got it like that. Yeah. We don't do that. So because he lost privileges with his car last year, I had the privilege of asking. I said, so what was your second gift outside of that? He said, Mom, I just want to go into designer stores and get some stuff. I said, okay. So I gave him a $15,000 budget, was able to go down in Miami Design District and mess it up. He was in all the stores. I posted on social media. Everybody was like, Bria, man, you adopting a kid? Because I'm trying to. But that's what financial freedom looks like to me. Where I can sit here and do things like that for my kids and be like, man, it feels good, right? Because, you know, when I was younger, my mom, she did a really good job, my mom and dad, but we didn't get the privilege of wearing designer and different things of that nature. Where my son could be like, Mom, for my birthday, I want a pair of Balenciagas. I can
go grab
me. What? But requirements in my home, though. They are very good with kids. My kids are very, very, very amenable. They still have chores, and their grades got to be a certain way. I don't play. I'm still old school. Man, y'all girl. So listen. I'm still old school with certain things, but as long as my kids are doing great, I'm good. So that's what financial freedom looks like to me, when I can just wake up and just do what I want to do, just like that.
I love it. It feels good. Yes. What legacy are you actually building for your sons?
Oh man. The legacy I'm living and leaving for my children is, I would love for one of them to get in the tax game, but I don't think that's going to happen. They're not really number kids, which I understand. But the legacy I'm leaving for my kids is just never give up. You know, just keep going, chase your dreams. You know, never stop. And 30 years from now, or when I'm gone and my grandkids is here, I want them to always forever be like, man, I remember grandma or my mom, you know, when she started her tax business, she took it from this to this, and you know, she's well known and she's out here, and you know, she gave us this lifestyle, you know, because you know, I'm a smart cookie. I got some things to hand down to my kids. As you know, we on Wealthy Sisters. You know, make sure, you know, you sit down with your trust attorney, which I have. You know, make sure everything's all planned out, life insurance, different things of that nature, which I do sit down with my financial advisor once a year and make some good financial investments and things. So my kids do not know these things. They probably know now. But don't try to, you know, end up on Snap, y'all. But yeah, so those are some of the things I'm leaving for my kids. You know, just something different than my mom, my dad wasn't able to provide for us.
Absolutely. I love that. So we're going to take it off a serious note, get a little interactive, get your thinking cap on, your smart cookie, like you said. She's going to play a little fast round of tax boss truth or myth. All right.
Woo-hoo! This is going to be fun. All right, yes, I'm excited.
All right, this is something we hear about all the time. You need an LLC to write things off.
No. Now, if you are self-employed, 1099, independent contractor, you are considered a sole proprietorship, which you still can report on the Schedule C. And as long as you're keeping track of your expenses, you can still use write-offs without an LLC. So again, if you are a 1099, independent contractor, you're self-employed and you're running under your social, but you get issued. So that's just like, for instance, right, for people who want to know what I'm talking about with a 1099. So if you're a 1099 NEC, non-employee compensation, or a 1099 miscellaneous, right, and you're coming to work for me, but I don't want to pay payroll taxes, so I'm paying you cash.
Right.
But say, for instance, my cash is still coming through my Zelle business account, or you know, checks or anything of that nature, but you're working for me, you still are required to report anything over $600 that you did to the IRS. So that means I can issue you a 1099. So you can come to me with that 1099, and I can also do write-offs for you, as long as, again, you have your proof of receipts.
Gotcha.
Okay? proof. Because if the IRS
receipts, right?
decides to come randomly audit you within 3 to 10 years, you better have those proof of receipts. And you can sit down with a bookkeeper as well, which I partner with one, and they'll also, do those things as well for you. But yes, you do not have to have an LLC to do write-offs, but you do have to have requirements to do write-offs, though.
All right, y'all heard it. Y'all heard
requirements, though. Don't just do write-offs because you have a W-2. That's fraud. But we talk about self-employed people. Okay.
We hear about this all the time. Seriously, like all the time. Rich people don't pay taxes.
Oh my gosh, who says this?
I don't. I'm just saying.
Hey, it's so funny. One of my clients the other day texted me the same thing. She said, Bria, why I gotta pay so much taxes and rich people don't pay taxes? I said, who said rich people don't pay taxes? Because I got clients that multimillionaires and they pay taxes. It's just about the tax cut that they may receive. But they do pay taxes. Even Trump himself paid taxes. Okay, we all have to pay taxes. They just get a tax. I wouldn't say they get a tax break, but their tax break isn't as beneficial as ours. Gotcha. So I would say, like, for my people who are W-2 or making a certain amount of money, less than a certain amount of money a year, then yeah, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm taking but no, once you start making a certain amount of money in your tax and you got to put 30-40% and you got to pay that. So if you make $1 million a year, you got to pay 30% of that. Okay. Then yeah, you won't complain at that point. But no, people who make money still have to pay.
So basically, mind your tax bracket business.
Mind your tax bracket business, because we all got to pay taxes. If that's the case, I wouldn't be paying none right now, doing no estimated payments.
Oh, that's. So, I know what that means. Let me go to the next one.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so no, we have to pay taxes, but if that's the case, let me go make $1 billion right now, so I ain't gotta pay no taxes.
That don't sound good to me.
How you got
A side hustle should file taxes differently.
This is my thing when it comes to side hustle. I have people who call me and be like, Bria, I have a side hustle. Okay, but what documents do you have? I am really big on IRS compliance. And the reason why, because the more tax returns you do, the higher risk that your office is at being audited, right? Yeah, so with that being said, a side hustle is like this to me. It's a side hustle, right? It's a hustle. But what can you prove if the IRS was to come ask you? And that is my biggest questions for a lot of my clients. Gotcha. So if you coming to me, I am very much so going to ask a lot of questions, because guess what? The IRS is going to ask me those same questions. How did you come up with this tax return? Every credit that was claimed, everything that you reported on here, how did you come up with those things? Right? So yes, you can have a side hustle and do hair, right? Do makeup, right? You hear all those things. But at some point, if you're operating as a side hustle like a business, you might want to go ahead and actually run it as a business.
Y'all heard that now, kitchen beauticians.
Yeah. No offense. But you see a lot of people will say, I have a side hustle and I do this, great. Some people don't want to get an LLC and an EIN, and I'm okay with that. I understand. You get what I'm saying? But I do have some people who actually really do hair, and you can pull up their business pages and everything. They just don't want an LLC.
Yeah, I understand. I'm in the industry. I understand.
I get it though, but you can report your side hustle. But I'm also big on documentation. Well, can you show me? How do you know? Right. Apple Pay, business, because it still has to, even if it's a side hustle, still has to be operated as a business. Yeah. So you still need to have a business account. You need to have it operated as a business. You need to still sit down and have a business Zelle or a business Cash App or whatever the case might be. You still want to operate it, and that's what a lot of people don't understand, because when you start operating in your personal account with your side hustle, at that point, it's a side hustle, because you can't prove any expenses with a personal account.
That makes sense.
So, you just have to you get your business account and do it the right way. But yes, you can report side hustle as an income.
Okay. Now, tax planning is only for wealthy people.
No. No. Tax planning is for everybody. Tax planning, even if you are a W-2 employee, you want to tax plan. Make sure your W-4 is filled out correctly, right? If you make it 6 figures or more, do you need to take out additional taxes, right? Can you put in more money to 401k or IRAs that will help you give you tax breaks at the end of the year? Tax planning is for everybody. I don't care if you have a business and you're making $100,000. How can you plan on that to make sure that and that's what the wealthy does. So it's not that they don't pay taxes. They sit down with somebody like myself, who is an accountant, who has experience, who can actually sit there and tell them, hey, I can save you this much money at the end of the year if we plan accordingly for this, but it starts at the beginning of the year.
Okay.
So all my business clients who are my clients, we actually sit down January, February, March, April, and we plan for the entire year. And we actually tax plan, and I also sell those as well, right? So I can sit down with individual and business owners depending on, what kind of business you have.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, tax planning takes place for everybody.
Okay, I love it. This one might get you now. You might be like, oh no. Your accountant and tax strategist do the same thing.
No. No. So it's different levels when it comes to accounting, right? So you have an accountant who's just an accountant, right? Then you have a CPA like myself who is a certified public accountant, somebody who could represent you. Right?
That's the difference.
That's the difference there. Then you have a tax strategist. A tax strategist, somebody who specializes in tax and can come up with strategies. An accountant can do that as well, but they're not the same.
Got you. One can represent you. One just throws your paperwork together.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much.
All right. This is huge right now for so many people, especially after COVID. This has been a huge thing. Working from home automatically qualifies you for deductions.
If it's a business, if you're a W-2 employee clocking in and out and you're working from home, you're just working from home.
Y'all heard that now.
W-2 employees, unfortunately, does not, and this is the biggest thing in the real world. You see a lot of people do so much crazy stuff. W-2 employees, unfortunately, do not qualify for any type of write-offs.
I mean, makes sense to me. You're
W-2 employee. The only thing I would suggest for my W-2 employees, and they want a refund back at the end of the year, because I do have clients who make $130,000, $200,000. They're married with kids, or no kids, and they still getting back $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $6,000. It's because they're tax planning. So on your W-4, if you're making a certain amount of money, first you want to claim single. I don't care if you're married, head of household, married, filing separately, widow. Claim single on your W-4, put 0 all the way down, take out the correct amount of taxes at the little bottom of the page where it says if you want additional taxes taken out, sit down with somebody like myself who I'll be like, hey, take out additional $250, $300, or $350 or $400, right? Or like my doctor who texted me the other day and say, hey, Bria, I'm about to be doing some 1099 work, what I should be doing, da-da-da-da-da-da, and I told him what he should be doing so that way when he comes back to me next year, we're on point. But he also is a physician, but he also works as a W-2, so he has his own LLC practice where he sees practice, but he also has a W-2 where he works in a hospital job as well.
Okay.
So, again, that is what you should be doing. W-2 employees, you work from home, unfortunately, sad to say, you do not. For somebody who actually does taxes the right way, don't qualify for it. And keyword is the right way, because it's a lot of fraud.
There's a lot of janky promotions going on.
I've been in this game for about 11 years. I can tell you, 7 years on my own. Celebrated 7 years this year on my own. There's a lot of janky things, but the person who's coming from a right way type of person, you don't qualify.
I love it.
Unfortunately.
Now, if every entrepreneur, professional, or woman in business watching today could leave with one piece of advice from you, what would it be? They'd be like, that's from the tax boss, Miss Dr. Bria Harris.
One piece of advice that I will always leave with anyone, and you heard me say it even earlier, never give up. As entrepreneurs, we have our days where 1 month we make it 40,000, 1 month we make it 400, sometimes we don't make nothing, right? That can be discouraging. So sometimes you start in a business, you start with no clients, right? Or you start with no sales and you get discouraged and you're like, okay, I want to give up, I'm done with this. You know what, this is it. But if I would have gave up when I first started my business with 0 clients, went from 0 clients to 5 clients, right? 5 clients to 121 clients, from 121 to 600 clients, to now serving over 4,000 plus people, and then having 13 people work under me in 4 offices, right? If I would have gave up from when I didn't have nobody, I wouldn't be sitting here now saying I run a successful 7-figure firm, right? So that's my piece of advice for entrepreneurs. Never give up.
Never give up. Easier said than done for some, but I love it.
It is easier said than done, but it's the mindset.
It is.
I tell people all the time, it's your mindset. If you get up every day with negativity, guess what's going to happen? it's going to be negative.
Absolutely.
Right? But when you get up every day with positive, no matter what is going on, guess what's going to end up happening? More than likely a positive.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't understand. I could have been coming up here driving from Miami this morning. Something could have happened, right? But I didn't go come in here with the same energy. I think a lot of people don't understand how to switch that mindset.
Yeah.
Switch the mindset. Positive affirmations.
Absolutely. I love it. Now, where can everyone connect with you, learn from you, and maybe work with your team?
Let them know. I just like that. You can find me. My website is www.empresstaxservices.com, and that's Empress with the I, because a lot of people go to try to find it with an E. I am very much so different, trademarked, okay, differently, okay. Oh yeah, if you're a real brand, you're gonna trademark yourself, because nobody can ever use my name, logo, or my slogan. That's one thing I would love to tell everybody about that. You can find me on Facebook at Empress Tax Service, Instagram at Empress Tax Service 19, LinkedIn at Dr. Bria Harris, Empress Tax Service, and then TikTok at Boss Lady Tax Plug.
Y'all heard all that. Run it back, write it down, catch them all so you'll connect with it. It has been such a pleasure. I have learned so much, and your energy is just beautiful. So I thank you today.
No, thank
Dr.
you.
Bria Harris is the doctor for me. You showed us that wealth is more than money. It's really about resilience. It's about who you are and the character that you develop during your journey.
Yes.
I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you all for joining us on Influencer Insider. Keep growing yourself, keep building your brand,